Shove it, man!
You know, I get asked to cover women's wrestling all the time, and I don't seem to do that much of it, do I? I think the problem is that the years I was the biggest wrestling fan, the women were mostly only known for one thing. They weren't exactly A-tier wrestlers, were they? And some of these women were painful to watch in the ring to the point that they could barely be classed as wrestlers. I see the names of Kelly Kelly and Eva Marie thrown around a lot in the comments, but I see your Kelly Kelly and Eva Marie and I shove you Lacey Von Erich, who I truly believe to be the worst of all time. I was really into my wrestling at the time, and I just could not get over how bad she was in the ring, and even worse, TNA kept putting her in matches. Why? For me, the best women wrestlers were a combination of sex appeal and ability, and even balance is what's needed. But Lacey only had one of those boxes ticked. There's a lot of ladies who had one or two bad matches in TNA, but what you're about to see will leave you praising Garrett Bischoff's wrestling skill, but will he squeal?
But of course, brothers, if you know a worse women's wrestler who could do the J-O-B to the H-J-W-K any night, any day, ha ha, shove their name in the comment section, Jack.
Okay, Lacey Von Botch, was she drunk on scotch? Just for the purposes of this video today, Lacey was extremely green at the time of this footage, and she had a brief time with the WWE under a developmental contract. With the surname Von Erich, wrestling companies were always going to take an interest in her. It all started in 2009 after Angelina Love left TNA for a short time. She was the leader of a faction called the Beautiful People with Velvet Sky and Madison Rayne. They got a lot of TV time as they were massive ratings draws. With Angelina gone, TNA still didn't want the faction to die, and this led to the debut of our girl today, Lacey Von Erich. She used the dreaded claw on Sarita. I remember thinking at the time, this looks so stupid. Match 1, 6-woman tag, Velvet Sky, Madison Rayne and Lacey Von Erich versus Tara, Awesome Kong, with Raisha Saeed and ODB. They are tag team partners who don't get on. Most of the videos you're going to see on this list are 6-woman tag matches. You'll realise why that is soon enough. Kong is more interested in beating up her own partners anyway. ODB has to wrestle most of this one on her own. Well, it's more like a 2-on-2 because Lacey just stands on the ring apron. Her match action totals just getting punched off the ring apron. That's about it. Tara eventually super kicks her own partner and Velvet pins her. The Beautiful People celebrate by dancing, but Lacey struggles to do the slut drop like the others. This opening match is terrible, but I think there's way worse to come. To be honest, she's better off doing nothing, so it's a D. Trust me, keep watching. Character-wise, she's trying to be a mean girl like Velvet, but it just doesn't seem to work for her because she can't seem to stop herself smiling in every segment. Match 2, 6-women tag, The Beautiful People versus ODB, Hamada and Christy Hemme. These tag team partners do get on, so the Beautiful People might have a trickier time. Interestingly, this is Christy Hemme's final televised match. Just like the last match, Lacey's partners are actively avoiding tagging her in. It's like they know something that we don't. Lacey gets her first legal tag in the match as her and Velvet throw Hamada into the corner. Then she gets scared and tags straight out. Velvet tags Lacey, but she looks confused and doesn't come into the ring. Then she gets knocked off the ring apron. Velvet tags her in for a second time against Hemme. She hits the worst choke slam I think I've ever seen. She barely gets her off the mat. That's the end of the match. That's literally all she did. 2 matches in and she clearly doesn't have a clue what's even happening. It's an S. I get that she's playing a dumb blonde character, but I genuinely think she just doesn't know what she's doing.
I think they're looking for some slut doubles.
Really?
And actually, douche, the leading man is just dying to work with you.
Me? What's his name?
Yeah, he plays for the Yankees.
Who, Alex Jeter?
No, yank these nuts! Oh, yeah!
Match 3, 8 women's tag, The Beautiful People. Oh yeah, now Lacey has a stupid pink nightstick that she calls the Ugly Stick. They strangely team up with Awesome Kong, and this team take on ODB, Sarita, Tara and Taylor Wilde, who works at a sunglasses hut. Lacey actually comes in quite early in this one against Sarita. Taz makes fun of her and the crowd goes silent. She hits a couple of boots and a club to the back of Sarita for a 2. Later in the match, she clotheslines ODB down. After she finishes celebrating, Tara smacks her back in return. She falls down like a sack of shit. Kong eventually stops waiting on the outside and decides to win the match for her team with the Impact Buster. Lacey wants to hug Kong after the match, but her friends stop her. Her offense is so slow and nothing's really happening. It's an S. Match 4, TNA Turning Point 2009. TNA knockouts and tag titles all on the line in this one. 6-women tag, The Beautiful People challenging for all the belts. Taz keeps asking what Lacey does with her stick, and they take on ODP the Knockouts champion and Taylor and Sarita the tag champions. The cameramen are such pervs in this match, I can't get over it. It's around this match that I started noticing signs for Lacey in the crowd. I think they saw the funny side of this. Lacey comes in illegally to clothesline Taylor Wilde and does a goofy celebration as Taz points out Lacey's fan in the front row. I started to appreciate Velvet Sky's wrestling ability here. Lacey actually comes into the match with a kick on Taylor Wilde. She gets a 2 as the crowd chant, "You can't wrestle." She couldn't get out the ring quick enough here. Lacey has to break up another pin later on in the match and her skirt almost falls down, and then Sarita floors her. Lacey actually does manage to turn it around and throw Sarita out of the ring. It's not enough though because ODB overpowers all 3 of them. Lacey doesn't care about the loss that they just took and she dances around with one of her extensions down her pants. This seems to legitimately annoy ODB. You would have thought she'd like that one. It wasn't a good match, but it was funny, so it's a D. Match 5, Battle Royal for the number 1 contendership. Hamada, Daphne, Alyssa Flash, Tracy Brooks, they don't even get an entrance, any of them. And also in this match is the beautiful people who do get an entrance. And there's also Taylor Wilde, Sarita and Tara. ODB is special referee for some reason. Lacey slowly clubs and stomps on Sarita. The beautiful people work together so Lacey actually outlasts most of the girls. Unfortunately, she was kicked out of the ring by Tara during the advert break. Tara also wins this match, last eliminating Velvet Sky. It's an S, I don't know, 5 matches in and this is appalling. She actually does less than I remember her doing. I want to see the claw. Before the next match, Kevin Nash tells the beautiful people that no one will ever change the channel when they're on the screen and tells them they're going to make a ton of money. Lacey's happy because she says she doesn't need a sugar daddy anymore. Lacey says her next match is going to be rated 6 stars. Maybe 6 shove-its. Match 6, mud wrestling match. Lacey Von Erich versus Velvet Sky of Madison as the referee. They do their entrance on the pool. Velvet manages to go behind her and they slap each other and slop in the pool. Lacey's just having a good time laughing all the time. Velvet gets a 1 count on Lacey. Then Velvet wins with some sort of roll up after about a minute. Lacey spanks Velvet and then trips Madison and Velvet up together. The perfect match for Lacey Von Erich. It's an A every night, every day. Something that was teased for a while was a feud between the beautiful people and the generic blonde interviewer Lauren. They'd been bullying her in interviews for months. Lauren eventually snaps when Lacey calls her a skank and she slaps her. Lacey got her fired for this assault and that's the last we saw of Lauren in TNA. Abyss was probably pulling his hair out, bashing his head into walls again. Angelina Love returns around now and she wasn't happy about being replaced by Lacey. She attacks all of the beautiful people. Match 7, 6-women tag, the beautiful people versus Awesome Kong, Hamada and Tara. One of these teams is not quite like the other. Lacey actually gets the tag in this one and she twists Hamada's arm and tags straight back out. Probably the most pointless tag I've ever seen. I can't take much more of this, I want to see a fucking claw. Madison and Lacey try a bad looking double clothesline on Awesome Kong. It doesn't work. Lacey gets kicked square in the head. Then Hamada slams Lacey and she goes for a moonsault. She hits Lacey with it, but Madison sneaks in and hits Hamada with Lacey's stick. That's how the match ends. Lacey Von Erich gets the win. In the post-match, Lacey gets straight back up. She isn't hurt at all from that moonsault. They attack Tara after the match and Angelina Love runs out to make the save. She punches Lacey twice, who doesn't look like she knows what she's doing again. It's a D because she actually took a move or two for once. Match 8, 3-on-2 handicap match. The beautiful people versus Angelina Love and Tara. At this point, I've given up on seeing anything good happening. I just want to see another fucking claw. Please tag Lacey into this match so she can do something. Well, instead of that, Lacey gets hit by a baseball slide on the outside. This match then suddenly becomes awesome. Lacey does a second rope moonsault landing on her feet and then drops the elbow on Tara. Taz on commentary says it was a lot of work for nothing. I don't think we're going to top that in this entire video. The ref loses control of the match and Angelina Love hits a kick. She has the match won, but Lacey uses the ugly stick with the weakest hit ever. Lacey then hesitates and doesn't know what to do next. The beautiful people win thanks to Lacey. She also takes out Tara with her stick after the match. Look, I mean, at least she had a role in this match. It only took 8 matches for her to do something. It's a D for entertainment. After this match, Madison and Velvet won the Knockouts tag titles. They told Lacey that she was also a tag champion. They'd defend these belts under the Freebird rule. Match 9, 8 knockout tag. The beautiful people and Daphne versus Tara. Before the match, Daphne threatens to stamp on her stupid spider and the beautiful people hit her down. Her partners Taylor Wilde, Sarita and Angelina Love rush the ring. Velvet kicks Sarita and brings Lacey in. She manages a float over in the corner and celebrates that she's actually done something. She gets a drop kick for her efforts. Lacey falls over way too soon and then she bails from the match. Later in the match, she helps to pick Tara up and drop her on her back. She's not really getting involved, to be honest. She just stands there watching everyone else. I have no idea what she's doing and neither does she. Then everyone starts hitting finishers and Lacey slides in and does a choke slam. Much better than the last one. She again celebrates too much as usual and she turns around and Tara's there. Tara picks her up and hits her with the Widow's Peak. I was cringing watching her go up for that one, but it looked fine to be fair. Daphne wins with a lobotomy and then she celebrates with Tara's spider. I think the spider suited Daphne better anyway. Maybe Lacey's starting to improve. She still looks confused though, but I'm seeing some genuine progress. It's a D, there's no need to fuss. We're deep into the TNA WWE Monday Night War era now in 2010. The other beautiful people are hoping one of them could win the Knockouts title, but Lacey's more interested in getting an opportunity to strip in the ring. Match 10. Lockbox Challenge. Oh, hell no, not this rubbish again. All the Knockouts compete in an elimination tag match. You can win a spider, an opportunity to call someone out. Have to do a striptease, or you can win the Knockouts title in a box. You have to pin someone to win a box. Tara pins Madison straight away to win a box. Daphne scores a pin with a knee to Hamada's face. The best bit is the commentary again. Taz wants to have a Dave Penza on a pole match. Velvet Sky beats ODB with a DDT. That leaves just Angelina and Lacey. Lacey's distracted and she attacks ODB for some reason. Angelina takes her down and punches her in the face. Then Angelina runs into Lacey's boot in the corner. Lacey tries her moonsault elbow but she misses that one and Angelina hits with the lights out to beat Lacey. A horrible match where the women kept getting pinned after one move. Lacey was disappointed that she wouldn't get a chance to do a striptease. Daphne is unfortunately the lady who won the opportunity to do a striptease. As she stands in the ring looking annoyed, she slowly plays with her funny little hat and moves her shoulder strap around. The music is terrible and I genuinely feel bad for her. It goes on for a couple of minutes until she's saved. Lacey runs to the ring and hits her with the ugly stick. Lacey's now happily dancing away as Tara and Angelina brawl into the ring. She has no idea what's going on. She starts skipping around like a crazy person. Velvet tells her what a good job she's done. Then the show goes off the air with Lacey skipping around with happiness as Tara and Angelina try to take her out. It's garbage TV. If anything, I was a bit disappointed that it didn't focus this more on Lacey. This is the one thing she was meant to be good for, but Vince Russo must have had ADHD on this night as the camera was cutting everywhere during her striptease. What the hell do I grade this? D for disappointing, obviously. Match 11, TNA Knockouts Tag Title Match. The challengers Daphne and ODB, who do not get an entrance, versus the champions Velvet Sky and Lacey Von Erich with Madison Rayne. Madison is now also the Knockouts champion. Holy shit, Lacey's starting a match. Oh, she's changed her mind, she's gone actually. She does come in with Daphne on the ground. She hits a handspring backflip elbow. That's about it because she's too busy celebrating and Velvet comes back in. ODB gets the hot tag, but Velvet is too scared to tag Lacey in again. ODB knocks her off the ring apron. Madison then distracts the referee on the outside and Lacey uses this as an opportunity to use hairspray in ODB's face. Velvet wins with a roll-up. Simply terrible as an S. You'd have thought by match 11 she could at least do some basic wrestling. I've not seen a single lockup. Match 12, all knockouts gold on the line. Tara, Sarita and Taylor Wilde, who don't get an entrance, versus the champions, the beautiful people. Lacey actually properly starts this one. Tara boots her in the gut and snaps off a suplex. She puts on a front guillotine. Both ladies then get back to their feet and Lacey hits the Von Ninja kick. Sarita enters the battle and tries to roll her up, but Lacey keeps rolling and exits the match. Later on in the match, Velvet and Lacey hit a bad looking double DDT on Sarita to end the match. Now, you see, there is definite progress here. Let's be kind and give her a C for the spin kick. I know, I'm being nice here, but she is a lady after all and she's taken a pounding in this video from my beak. Match 13, Knockouts Tag Title Match. The champions Lacey and Velvet with Madison versus the challengers... Wait, what? Puppet the Midget Killer's on commentary. I didn't know he ever came back into TNA, so that's cool. Remember when he jacked off in that trash can? Dusty Rhodes certainly does. The commentary during these matches is sublime. It's peak Taz. Puppet says he can't reach the pedals to drive, and Taz says he knows how he feels. There's something about these knockouts matches that makes Taz lose the plot. Lacey watches as Velvet gets double teamed. She doesn't even break up pins, so what's the point in her? Velvet then distracts the referee so Lacey can finally do something and she hits a clothesline. She joins the match and Velvet helps her throw Taylor Wilde into the corner. Lacey just wins the match with a choke slam. Taz says it was the claw. The segment continues and Puppet spanks Velvet. She slaps him and Madison gives him a DDT. Lacey doesn't do anything and I think she actually quite likes the midget. Wait, Lacey turns back towards him and they get it on. Look, this is the sort of thing she should have been doing from the start. She can't wrestle, so look hot and do comedy. I love this whole thing, it's a B. The Hawk values entertainment. So it sounds like we're now finally getting somewhere, but then I saw what the next match was and I was concerned. Match 14, tag match, Roxy and Rosie Lottalove versus Lacey and Velvet. For some reason this match is left off of the TNA episode I'm watching. I'm worrying something bad happens and they cut it out. Velvet and Rosie start off with an ass shaking contest. Velvet is scared so she tags Lacey in. Rosie shoves her down, but Velvet doesn't want the tag for a change. Rosie picks Lacey up with a scoop slam and she brings Roxy in. She hits a dropkick on Lacey before Velvet is happy to come back in. I'm starting to think the reason that this match is missing is the commentary. The Guns and Taz are completely out of control with their masturbation humour. Lacey and Velvet strangely steal a page from the Rock and Roll Express book on Rosie. Roxy isn't fazed by the beatdown and she kicks Lacey a couple of times, and Velvet has to sort of make the save on the pin. Then Roxy wins with the voodoo drop. So nothing happened injury-wise. I think it was for the X-rated commentary. This match wasn't much, it's a D. Before her next match, Lacey gets a massage from a man who looks like a homeless man. She likes it though, she's always smiling, isn't she? Match 15, Angelina Love vs Lacey Von Erich. Not used to seeing her on her own. This is pretty much her only singles match in this video, so enjoy it. Angelina jumps her during a stupid entrance. Angelina throws her into both corners. Then Angelina hits 3 knees to the gut and sort of throws Lacey to the mat. Angelina Love follows it up, choking her in the corner with her boot. Then we get the most impressive exchange in this video. Lacey floats over in the corner, flipping over Angelina, and then she sweeps her leg out straight after. It didn't look completely clean, but I'll take anything at this point. Angelina Love gets angry, I think she's embarrassed, and she smacks Lacey, but Von Erich seems like she has a point to prove, and she takes Angelina down by her haircut. Then strangely, she tries 10 punches in the corner, but it gets reversed and she gets an Angelina Love power bomb. Lacey looks out of it, but Angelina Love grabs a chair instead. This isn't about winning for her. Angelina DDTs her on the chair, so Lacey wins the match by DQ. The ref just stood there and let it happen, what an idiot. That was a pretty enjoyable match, to be fair. There wasn't much to see, but anytime she does anything new it gets me excited. And I ain't talking wrestling moves, it's a C. Match 16, Knockouts Tag Title match. The champions Velvet and Lacey versus the challengers Hamada and Taylor Wilde. Taylor's going through a bowl of salad dressing look at this time. Lacey messes with Earl Hebner and doesn't want to give him the belt. Lacey starts out again, she must be getting more confident in the ring. Taylor almost rolls her up straight away because she's dancing around like a fool. Velvet cheats with the outside, which allows Lacey to try a swing kick. Taylor dodges and sweeps Lacey's other leg out. Taylor then tries a crossbody, but Lacey catches her and hits a fall away slam. What the hell is going on? I think the Hawk's high again. Taylor has to bail because she's losing the match. Hamada comes in with a headbutt and the worst chop I've ever seen. She then hits a better one. Velvet cheats again and it allows Lacey to hit the spin kick for a 2 count, shades of Rob Terry. Velvet is in now with kicks to the gut whilst Lacey holds her. She tags back to Lacey quickly and they shove Hamada into the corner time and time again. Lacey tries to hit the handspring backflip elbow but misses it. She tries a second elbow but misses again. Hamada has to bail then because she also gets dominated. Taylor Wilde then gives Lacey a German, which isn't exactly a perfect one, but I'll take it. The challengers then do the do-si-do spot to take the beautiful people down. Madison Rayne appears on the ramp and everyone is confused because a biker is also here. Then there's a ref bump. Lacey is alone in the ring with Taylor Wilde. The biker then hands her a chair and she's too busy smiling and thanking the biker. Taylor hits her in the face with a running dropkick into the chair. It's over. They lose the belts after a long run. I'm generally surprised by this one. She is actually getting better. Yes, she looked a bit wacky and stupid holding that chair, but she's supposed to be playing a dumb blonde. She made Velvet look like the bad one in this match. She's trying and that's more than I can say for some people. The Hawk asked Lacey to apply herself and she is. It's a B for Lacey. Can't believe I just gave Lacey Von Erich a B. Match 17, Knockouts Tag Title match. The challengers Madison Rayne and Lacey Von Erich with Tara versus the champions Taylor Wilde and Hamada. Lots of ass slapping going on with these entrances. Taz is jealous of it all. Yet again, Lacey starts a match out. She gets an arm drag from Taylor and then she almost gets rolled up. Then Taylor does a Mahistra cradle for another 2. Lacey tries to fight back, shoving her into the corner, but Hamada comes in jumping over the top with a roll-up pin. Madison tags her way into the match. She's in the midst of a heel turn and she ain't been very nice to Lacey. She screams at her to get back in. She hits the handspring backflip elbow but dances instead of pinning. She misses her follow-up elbow and shortly after she gets a Hamada moonsault. Lacey surprisingly gets the shoulder up. Taylor then hits her with a top rope crossbody but yet again she kicks out. Madison pulls Taylor's hair from the outside and comes back into the match. Later on, Madison and Lacey hit a double team suplex. Lacey's trying to keep her grounded and puts her in the first ever submission in the video. It doesn't end well and she gets a jawbreaker. Hamada gets the hot tag and she boots her, not once, not twice, but thrice, and it sure wasn't nice. Then Hamada floors her with a headbutt, and then Hamada and Taylor work together to hit a Samoan drop neckbreaker combination. That's the end of the match. Not bad at all. We seem to be getting something new each match. It's a C. Madison isn't happy that they lost and eventually Lacey has enough and she pushes Madison over. Tara sneaks up behind and hits her with a motorcycle helmet. The newly formed original beautiful people Angelina and Velvet make the save for her. This attack causes Lacey to finally get serious for the first time in TNA. She doesn't even smile in this segment. It sounds like we're building to a feud with Madison here. Match 18. Final match. The challengers, Velvet Sky and Lacey Von Erich versus the champions Taylor Wilde and Hamada. Taz starts this one saying Taylor has a face for radio. We start off with Lacey doing an arm drag. She gets a drop toe hold in return. Taylor carries on with a headlock takeover. Lacey manages to push her off and then she drops down and nails a hip toss. Taylor Wilde runs away and Hamada comes in, but Lacey immediately takes her down too with a hip toss and an arm drag. She then tags Velvet in, who comes down on Hamada's arm. The beautiful people dominate in this match as Lacey comes back in, but unfortunately she gets hit with a basement dropkick. The champions also hit a double team suplex. The crowd are actually chanting for Lacey Von Erich and not in a jokey way. It doesn't help her though, and Hamada gives her an enziguri kick. Hamada follows it up with a fisherman suplex, which Lacey kicks out of. Lacey seems like she's going for 10 punches in the corner now, but she slips. Well, come on, we've not actually had that many botches in here, so I'll let it slide. She tries a fucking Frankensteiner. No, it doesn't look great, but she tried it. When's the last time Velvet tried a new move? Lacey kicks Hamada out the ring and the ref is distracted. Madison appears in the ring and she clubs Lacey from behind with her stupid helmet. As she stumbles to her feet, Taylor boots her in the side of the head for the free. At this point, Lacey might actually be better than Velvet. She's literally carrying the matches now. I'm disappointed it's ending now. She was legitimately getting better. It's another C for this one. So that's it. Lacey decided to abruptly leave TNA, stopping the storyline with Madison dead in its tracks. Lacey didn't appear again in TNA, but she did get mentioned on TV a few times in a jokey way when they said she was training Brooke Tessmacher to be a wrestler. I'm actually in a bit of shock tonight. I know that what we just watched was not a polished wrestling performance, but there's proof that she was getting better, and more importantly, she was applying herself. To top that off, she did play a comedy role okay, and she looked good doing it. So why shouldn't she be wrestling on TV or have a spot doing something? It's not as if many women in wrestling are as attractive as this anymore. Ring of the Hawk is not just about wrestling skill, you have to have the total package. So I'm going to grade her now, and to be honest, I was certain she was going in the shove-it zone with Garrett and Anarchia. But I can't do that tonight, because I had fun watching this and making this video. It wasn't boring, she actually had charisma and she was trying really hard. So it's a D. She deserved to be shoved a developmental contract, and if you don't agree with that, you can't accept a fact.